South Africa has 180,000 police officers employed. We are around 50 million country. Spain is around 50 million as well, 51 million people that reside in Spain. They only have 53,000 police officers and 4,500 administrative team that looks after the police officers. So they've got a third of the policing force that we do, a third. And they are considered one of the safest countries in the world. On today's episode, we're going to go into the stats and treat our country like a business. Treat our country like a business, placing the president as CEO, and then each and every departmental head. And we're going to rate the success based on data. So when a department in our company, for example, fails, then it's on me, the CEO, first, because I've appointed that person. And then it's on that person. Was he equipped to deliver on everything that was promised? Does he pay attention to the numbers? Is he growing the numbers? Is it reducing? All that information we're going to dive into on today's episode. And as always, Annemarie Meyer next to me. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Now, having said that we are going to treat our country as a business, we need to give you this important fact. So 20 years ago, Fortune 500 magazine released the 500 top companies on their list. Take a guess, how many are still around on that list after 20 years?
Well, the whole world has really taken a beating over the last couple of years. So let's bring it down to 100.
Only 52.
Ouch.
So it's 10%, which means that the companies that were on top of industry 20 years ago, 10% are still around. Why? My opinion, it's leadership. And leadership is a multifaceted, multi-angled approach. So you can be a great leader, but fail in a department because you need that departmental head to be running in the same direction, at the same speed, with the same amount of conviction. But I mean, it's still the CEO and the departmental head together. That line of communication and execution needs to be 100% on point. So I want to dive into some of the data and take a look at, has crime increased or decreased over the last couple of years? Are you ready?
I'm ready. So we've got Cele reported a 10% year-on-year increase in murders, with a total of 7,555 murders recorded during the third quarter of 2022.
That's only quarter 3 of 2022.
Only 2022, quarter 3. Sexual offences also rose by 9.6%, including rape on 9.8%, sexual assault on 4.1%, and attempted sexual offences 45.6% increase. Attempted crimes had the largest year-on-year increase, rising by 24.3% to 7,016 cases. Other crime categories that increased year-on-year were common robberies, 21.2%, common assault, 12%, assault with the intent to inflict grievous bodily harm, 8.7%, and robbery with aggravated circumstances, 10.8%. So it's just an increase.
I want to dive into, I like to do good, bad, and ugly. So what actually decreased? And we're going to we're going to rather show you the sketch on the screen right now so we can go through this. You know, there was a 25% decrease. That was the biggest decrease on contact sexual offences. Okay. There was also a decrease in robberies at non-residential premises and robberies of cash in transit. That's a good statistics because robberies of cash in transit vehicles, I remember in 2018 was the highest that it has ever been. So we've done a phenomenal job to reduce it, not only to reduce it, but to get it under control and then reduce it by 5%. Now 5% doesn't sound high, but it's still a reduction. We're moving the needle in the right direction in that area.
But I would like to know, is that our policing? Was it that company?
So I think it's a combination of both, if you ask
I
me.
hope so.
Because they've obviously ramped up the technology, tracking, the dye stain technology and all this other stuff. But still, the police needs to be very much, involved in that and assist from the side when and if those attempts happen.
Well, I hope so, because I really at a certain point felt that it's not from our policing side, but it's from that company side that they jacked it up.
I think it's both.
But I think it could be very easily, and I agree with you.
I want to dive into, the ugly part now. We did good, bad, and it's the ugly part time. So we're going to give you statistics of crimes against women and children, which is, the vulnerable part of our society is the women and children. And October 2020 to December 2022, there has been a 22.1% increase on murder for women, attempted murder 31% increase, and assault with grievous bodily harm against women of 10.1% increase. Okay?
Extremely high.
Here's where we have improved. Murder against children from October 2020 to December 2022 has gone down by 9.4%. Unfortunately, attempted murder has gone up by 23.9%. And assault with GBH, grievous bodily harm, has gone down 0.4%. So we are failing here. And there's lots of movement for, stop abuse against women and children. The movement is big. It's nowhere where it should be, because this statistic is rising, and that is unfortunate.
No, definitely, and I agree with that. The fact that we can't get that down, and we've got a year-on drive with women and children, and we just can't seem to get it down. And that is something that's alarming.
So, looking at the statistics and researching this episode, it just puts me in the mindset of we are at war with ourselves. We are at war with each other. So, we've brought it down to 5 best possible solutions that we can come up with. And I'm going to dive into, obviously the first one, and you'll pick it up from there. Investing in education and job training programs to provide individuals with skills and opportunities to find employment. So the root cause is crime goes up the moment that finances go down. I mean, on a hungry tummy, there's my dad always says to me, Bobs, remember one thing, hunger is stronger than electricity. That's what my dad says. I said, and it doesn't make sense. What do you mean? He says, if you're hungry, my boy, you will do anything to fulfill that need to put something in your tummy. You are stronger than electricity. So eliminate the hunger. That's where it starts. Give young people the opportunity to work. Provide a platform where unemployment goes down. The moment unemployment goes down, crime goes down as well.
It's going to solve for a lot of problems. Then secondly, I would say enhancing the law enforcement. We need to get the police presence more visible. Improve the training with those guys. They need support.
Yeah, 100%. And implementing community-orientated policing. There is thousands of great reservists out there. I mean, I've got a friend that I unfortunately lost a couple of years ago who was a phenomenal reservist. He had a day job. He worked in retail, and he would give up every single minute of his free time.
He lived for it.
He lived for it. Yeah. And those people need to be pushed more and recognized more, because most of them do a phenomenal job.
They do. Then I would say the root cause of crime, and that is most probably drug addictions and mental health. And that is something, especially in South Africa, to me it feels like it's not addressed enough.
Yeah, I fully agree, because again, educating the youth is the key. Educating around drugs, educating around what is actually cool. Who is the hero of our century? Me growing up, it was everybody wanted to be Batman or Superman. Why? Because Batman eventually kicks Joker's ass and good overwhelms evil.
What's the good?
And, today with Instagram and with social media, the heroes are the guys driving the fancy cars and having the fancy girls and the fancy watches and all this other stuff whilst they're not working. So we need to address that. And then lastly, I believe, in my opinion, this overwhelms everything else. And it gives you a reduction in crime now, immediately. So if you fix this, crime goes down immediately. And that is strengthening our criminal justice system.
For that, I'm 100% behind you.
What do I mean by that? So here's what I mean. If you get caught committing a crime, you are arrested, and most probably you get a bail of 500 to 2,000 rand. Okay, you pay the bail, you're out. Okay, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of instances where dockets go missing. We've spoken to some guys on the street for as little as 500 rand. A docket goes missing.
Easy.
So why would you be afraid to commit the crime again? On a previous episode we did on house robberies, it's 107 times before a house robber gets actually arrested.
Yes.
And the conviction ratio is only 17%. So I mean, you're talking thousands of house robberies before you actually go to jail. Okay, fixing the judicial system to the point where it is enforced with an iron fist, and there is convictions on each and every crime, and you pay the price for the crime that you commit, reduces the actual figures now.
We discussed it some time ago about the countries that's got a strict law, the safest countries.
With the highest conviction rates.
So I agree.
So final thoughts. We are living in a troubled country that's at war with itself. Okay. Whether the leaders are looking at the data or not looking at the data is there. The data doesn't lie. We need to put more pressure on our leaders to get the data down. They need to make certain commitments and live up to those commitments, because as a departmental head or as a CEO, if I set an expectation for a department, let's say a branch, your target is 55, and they continuously deliver under 55, we are going to address the problem in the subsection. So, how many salespeople are not hitting their targets? How many salespeople do we need to retrain or replace? But eventually, a couple of months later, I'm looking at the leader. And unless I put the right leader in that seat, eventually that company falls and everybody loses. So before that happens, I still believe we are a Fortune 500 country. We need to be paying closer attention to the data and making sure that we've got the right leaders in the right seats, looking at the data constantly and adjusting to bring, I want to see all of those statistics go down in the green. I believe we're capable. We just need to work harder and enforce it with an iron fist.
Fully agree with you. My biggest problem with something like this is they work from quarter to quarter, and then it's not only the 4 quarters in a year, then they start running it over a 3-year period. So it's as if that first quarter on the first year, they're just placing it to the last quarter of the 3rd year. And you can't do that. You're just going to drive your company down.
But I like the quarter, and here's why I like the quarter.
But not over 3 years.
I agree, but you're measuring quarter to quarter, and you're setting a target. So in this quarter, we want to focus on abuse on women and children. We will open the taps. We've got the boots. Remember in the beginning we said 180,000 foot soldiers. It means boots on the ground, officers available, versus a country like Spain that only has, a third of it. Yet they are one of the safest countries. So enforcing it. This quarter, these 4 are going down. These 2 are going down a lot. So we're going to hyper focus on these 2, get the rest down, and then just prosecute. Put the criminals in jail and lift up the economy.
That's what they need to do, and not over a 3-year period.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, you find our research and information helpful, or you don't, please leave us a like as well as a comment.
And please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell.
Be safe, take care, and have a great day. Bye-bye.